Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's another episode of Rogan Radio. We are back in the studio this evening. This is the first time we've been here in a long time, and what's cool about it is Studio A is completely redesigned.
This is Studio A 2.0.
2.0.
Disgusting.
I didn't burp. I said this is Studio 2.0. I didn't burp.
And we have a new addition to the show in official capacity. Darren Harbin is the director over there, and Darren is going to be absolutely taking control. Darren, this is your first day of being the director.
Yes,
so
first day, worst day.
So
director.
Now you know the expectation is sooner or later you're going to be designing your own scenes, right. And you have to do all that stuff. And so how's the transition between the how's the computer? How you getting along so far, stress wise?
So far, it's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty simple so far.
Right.
Booyah! Booyah!
Well, we'll see next week, buddy.
I think Darren's doing it. If Darren's not here next week, we know he did not do a very good job.
Yeah. Well, look at it this way, Darren. You didn't get the stink eye yet, and Todd and Jimmy, they're very used to the stink eye.
You know what? How's Darren going to get the stink eye when he's got his back to us? You're going to have to physically get out of your chair.
He can see in the camera. Like say when you say something, he's watching the cameras. What Darren's doing is switching the cameras, and eventually Darren's going to make his own scenes. If you're watching this on YouTube or not, or on the Facebook or whatever, and if Darren messes up, you'll see this.
Then you'll make a scene.
I will not make a scene.
Yeah, you give him the dad eye. That's what I call it.
But anyway, we're going to try to get back into normal mode. Even though next week is Father's Day, so we might have an issue already.
I know, but I think I'm going to be out of town next week anyhow.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because absolutely.
So
you're going to have to find, if you want to do this, we can do it. See, you're doing it right now, Darren. Did you see that in the screen? Did you see what he was doing?
This.
He's going like this. He was doing the bobblehead, and you hate the bobblehead. I know you don't like the bobblehead.
There's
okay, shut up.
There's nothing. There is nothing worse than when you're arguing with a woman, right? And she gives you the bobblehead.
Kind of like
it's like whatever. Right?
Whatever.
That right there is grounds for divorce right off the bat.
Yeah, but you just gave me the bobblehead.
Yeah.
Whoa, that almost sounds sexy.
Whoa.
But anyway, I want to start out the show first of all on a serious note. Some terrible news coming out of Orlando, and for whatever reason, this is becoming the norm. It seems like. I mean, they had the girl on Friday, the singer that was from The Voice,
Christina Grimmie.
Yeah.
What happened to her, man?
I'm guessing it's a stalker. She just showed up to her show.
No.
Signing autographs at the end of the show, and he just came up and
shot her,
blasted her.
Just like what's her name? Who was that one little Spanish?
Selena.
Selena. That's the same thing with her. Stalker.
No, yeah, but that was a girl that actually worked for Selena. This is just a dude that just showed up to watch her concert.
Really?
She was signing autographs and things at the end. Hey, fans. And he just walked up and plop, 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 plop. And then
why would you do something like that?
I don't know.
Dude.
It makes no sense to me.
John Lennon.
Think about it. Same thing happened to Dimebag Darrell.
Diamondback Darren.
Yeah.
I know. Diamondback Darrell. John Lennon, boom, right in front of his house.
Well, you know what? I mean, you have like weirdos. I mean, you could even do it with presidential stuff. I mean, it's just why somebody would want to go. I mean, it happens every day with ex-wives or people you don't know. It happens to. But I want to send out condolences, and it's just bizarre. And Justin contributed to the show. We were talking a couple weeks ago about the importance of giving blood, and I know down in Orlando that they are looking for, and I know they have a lot of people right now donating blood.
Yeah,
because
they get lines backed up pretty good.
Yeah, because that's a bad situation. What they had that I know of. What the last I saw, 50 hurt and 50 killed.
50 dead and 53 wounded.
Yeah. Is that what it is now?
And a lot of the wounded were critically wounded, so they said it could be rise. You know?
Yeah, so that
worst one in.
Yep.
You just never know.
Worst in American history.
Yeah, you just never know, and so where that goes, I don't know. But it's a sad situation that we have to start out the show talking about some dumb shit like that. What was that? Was that your jaw?
No, dude.
Did you just crack your jaw?
No, I didn't.
Listen,
Let's
you know what?
Get on with the program.
Let me tell you something.
Shall we?
Let me tell you something. Where's the stress packer? You know, he was playing with the pen earlier. I had to take the pen away from him. We were doing a social hour on the Facebook and YouTube.
He wanted to hide the stress packer.
Honest to
because
goodness,
there were girls in the studio.
I mean, you'll hear this. You'll hear all kinds of stuff. You'll hear. I mean, it's like, my goodness gracious,
he's like clicking pens and.
Oh my God, dude.
Can you hear that? Can you hear this?
It's like he's got
Can you hear that?
ADHD or something.
Can you hear that? Oh, yeah.
But anyway, we have some fantastic topics coming up. One of the big topics that we are going to explore tonight is Davy Crockett.
Yeah, well, it's an American myth. We'll talk about Davy Crockett whenever you want. This is something that might upset you because I don't know about you, but Davy Crockett was my hero.
Oh, then
Why
this is going to
upset
this is
Chuck because
you've seen all the movies, right? The Alamo or Davy Crockett was
sure.
the hero, and then remember
when he walks in the halls of Congress and
he was a congressman. You remember Walt Disney when you were a kid? You know, they would have
John Wayne was the best Davy Crockett ever.
Was he?
Yes.
You know who was the best Davy Crockett? David Crockett.
Obviously not, because what you're about to tell me. And if you say that like Richard Simmons again, I'm going to smack you across your lips.
Why
I
don't
can
you
say it like
just,
Bill Cosby if you want.
Say it like
Why don't you do Davy Crockett now? Because the Penguins already scored, and I'm missing this.
No, the Penguins already scored. That's good news, bro.
Yeah, well,
What game is this?
Game 6.
Yeah.
Of 7, right? Game 6 of 7?
Yeah.
How many do they play? They play
Well,
7?
if the Penguins win tonight, they
Best
win
of
the cup.
7.
Best of 7? See, I don't know anything about hockey. All I know is they have an enforcer. My brother likes the Blue Jackets, or is it the Blue Jays? No, it's the Blue Jackets. Columbus. He
Blue
goes
Jackets,
to a
yeah.
lot of those games, and he said, you know what? You can watch hockey all you want on TV, but you're
there's
there.
Nothing like it.
And it's just amazing the
I've
way
been
these
to 'em.
guys.
Like I'd rather watch football or anything on TV because it's so far away when you're in the stands.
Yeah.
It's hard to see anything. But in hockey games, you're like right there. You see everything.
Oh, yeah, we
right
went
there.
We went to a concert.
Small, you know.
We went to a Christmas concert, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, I think, a
Yeah.
couple of years ago up in
Now,
Pittsburgh.
did,
and
they,
we were,
did they have their own bathroom?
Trans because they were
yeah, no, you could go in either one.
so
there.
because
But
you
know,
identified with.
I could just I walked in either one. But you know how it must have been in the where the Penguins played because when you have you ever been in a hockey? What do they call them? Do they call them
an
stadiums? Arena.
Arena.
I mean, listen, they're on the seats are like almost
Oh,
straight
both
up and
because
down
Because
like
the rink
that.
is
You
so
know.
much smaller than a football field.
Yeah,
or
and they
something.
got to fit so many people in there,
Oh,
and they're
dude.
just almost straight up and down like that. It's almost kind of
and
scary
when,
to walk
when
through there and
when
sit
they
down.
score and people go nuts. I mean, it's loud because it's just it's magnified. Everybody's right
Now,
there.
now, this is what's crazy though, because hockey, postseason hockey, is a lot different than regular season hockey, right? And it's sort of the same. Of like, say, I don't like actually going to a football game, and the reason being is I'm so used to watching football on television,
Yeah.
and there's like so much time between each play that when you're watching it on television, you don't realize it because you have graphics and you have talk. But when
Yeah.
you're actually at the game, it's like, okay, there's a play. All right.
Yeah.
Now I can run to the bathroom and I can come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In hockey, though,
It's nonstop, dude.
it's nonstop. But the crazy part about it, when I went to the few games that I've been to, it was up at, when they had the Igloo up in Pittsburgh, is that how intellectual, I guess. If you're a hockey fan, you know hockey, right?
Yeah.
And you only when they had icing and offsides and and all that stuff. It was to the point where you could hear the skates on the ice.
Oh yeah,
and all that,
Yeah.
and you would the certain claps. I mean, it was so quiet at times. It was bizarre to me. I was like, my God, I can hear those guys skating, and I can hear the
Sticks hitting the ice
all that,
and
and
sliding
getting
across
into
the
each
ice.
other. Yeah. Now, I couldn't imagine what a postseason game would be like, especially like a stand.
dude.
It would be so electric. Every single second of that, and how those guys. I mean, I know they have 3 different lines. I think 4 different lines now. And the shape those guys must be in is incredible.
You know, this is the only game where they actually have a guy that they send out on the ice to just whoop somebody's ass.
Yeah.
What do they
It's
call
like
him? The enforcer or
enforcer.
something like that?
Enforcer guys, yeah.
Yeah, and they send him out, and when they send that guy out,
To
somebody's
the
going
best
to get.
player. They go, look, your job is to shadow the number 1 player, and so he doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and you know what? And he'll check them. Is that what it's called? Check them with their.
Yeah,
Or, hey,
club,
listen, sometimes
or slam them into that big giant
Hey, listen.
big plexiglass. And
And
just,
it's freaking brutal. It's like
Oh,
I've seen
it
guys
is
take
brutal.
pucks to the mouth, and
Well,
they come back out and they're skating with blood hanging out and no teeth.
Missing
Hey,
teeth.
you remember when Lockett was playing for Pittsburgh and he took a puck to the face? And let me tell you what, it put him on his ass. And when they have to go out there and scrape the blood off the ice,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
But you know
Yeah.
what?
But then they get back out there and play, and you got some of these other sports where the guy's like, "Oh, I've twisted my toe, and I can't play."
like in soccer, they go out there and the guy starts complaining because he pulled a muscle or something. 2 seconds later, he scores a goal.
And
Don't
they're
know
like,
how that happens.
them other sports are getting paid way more than hockey's probably one of the lowest paid sports. You know what
Really?
I mean? And yet they do so much more.
But it's absolutely exciting. Go Pens is all I can tell you.
Go Pens. Whoo, now listen, they haven't won a. What is it for hockey? Is
Stanley
it a
Cup.
Stanley Cup? They haven't won a Stanley Cup since when?
2 3 years.
2009.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
thought it was a
no.
lot longer than
They
that.
won 2 in the early 90s, and then they won 1 in 2009. They
Okay.
actually went back-to-back. 2008, they lost in 6 games to Detroit, but then they beat Detroit the next year in 7 games.
Yeah,
And I'll tell you this about the Pittsburgh Penguins, especially. Thank goodness for Mario Lemieux. Not only for the fact that he actually brought hockey. I mean,
Back,
hockey was
yeah.
always in Pittsburgh, but he brought Pittsburgh. He brought
to the forefront, yeah.
absolutely, and he also kept the Penguins in Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
because they were about ready to split.
Yeah.
really?
After he left, yeah, he's co-owner of the team now. So
Yeah.
And he's a player.
He was.
He was.
Oh, he
Yeah.
was
He's
a player.
retired now.
Okay,
Right.
all right.
And
How-
then what did he have? Non-Hopkins?
he had Hodgkin's disease.
Was it Hodgkins or non-Hodgkins?
It was Hodgkin's,
Hodgkins,
I
okay.
believe.
so if you have it, it's Hodgkin's. If you don't, it's non-Hodgkin's.
No, it's something that's.
I don't know.
It's
No, I don't
It's
have
a
it
type of
anymore.
lymphoma. It's
Yeah.
a type of lymphoma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the non-Hodgkins is brutal, and I think that's what he had though.
Yeah, and he was out for several years and with the back issues. And if he would have stayed healthy, he would have smoked
Oh,
Gretzky's records.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You had the great one when it comes to hockey. He was like probably like a Pele or a McEnroe, something like that, where
Yeah.
you brought like this sport that no one really watched in America, and everybody wanted to watch him because of that guy.
Yeah.
And then
Plus,
he had
man, he won all them cups because he was surrounded by like great
Great
players.
players.
Great players.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he had Grant
all
Fuhrer.
Hall
I
of
mean,
Famers, but
oh.
Lemieux had nobody.
No.
Nobody.
Right.
Look at this guy.
And then you have Lemieux. You
Mark
have
Coffey just came into
Mark
the
Coffey
studio.
in the house. You have Lemieux come in and then bringing in Cosby.
Crosby.
Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby.
That's what I call him. Cosby.
He makes all the other
kid.
players pass
Take
out
the
when he
hockey
scores.
puck.
He
a goal.
does when he flies by, all that.
I didn't know Bill Cosby played hockey. I'm learning something every.
Crosby.
Bill Cosby. Is
How
that
many,
what
how
you-
many did they? How many cups have they won? Did they win under Lemieux too?
2,
How many under Crosby?
1.
How many
They're
under
probably going to
Cosby?
win
Hopefully
too.
the
So
night.
far.
How
Yeah.
many under Bill Cosby?
How old
though?
is he now? Wasn't he thinking about leaving and Lemieux kept him for something or
I
other?
have no clue, man.
I thought his contract was up or was getting ready to be up. I don't know. I don't keep track of that stuff. Hey, anyway, you're listening to Rogan Radio. Once again, we really appreciate you listening. I want to thank Jay Hamrick. He won a decal tonight on the Social Hour. If you follow us on Facebook, on the YouTube, of course, on Twitter, Google Plus, listen to us, the podcast on iTunes, on Stitcher, or on SoundCloud. There's always different chances to win. So, tonight it was Jay Hamrick's turn. He's going to get a Rogan Radio decal in the mail, and we want to thank him for listening and
Thank
for
you,
watching.
Jay Hamrick.
And we want to thank you for listening too.
Thank all of you
Coming
for
back,
listening.
we're going to talk about some Davy Crockett,
Yeah, we're going to give you a little 411.
and it
on
better
Davy
be
Crockett.
interesting because if
No.
it's not.
It's not going to be interesting, but it might be a little sad. I'm not even making any noise with that thing, bro.
I know it's just driving me crazy.
Why don't you just
because
put
you're
me in
touching
the...
it. Just because you're touching it. Just because he's touching it. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm touching myself now. You going to take my dick away?
Jeez.
You going to take it? Are you going to grab it and try to take my dick?
Oh my goodness.
Are you going to grab my dick? Well, go ahead and grab it. Come
Well,
on.
it's nice and soft, so he gets to bounce it.
You
and
know
not
what
do
Todd's
anything.
talking about. Show everybody what you're talking about when you say that he actually
The
has one in
stress
his hand.
pecker.
That's my stress packer.
All right, hey, you're listening to Rogan Radio. Hey, you're listening to Rogan Radio. We are back in the studio once again, the first time in a long time, and tonight is the 5-second rule. We have a 5-second rule, and every time we hit
Every
record,
time we hit record.
we go ahead and Todd's a penis. What we do is we go ahead and say 5 seconds. That's a 5-second rule that gives us time to make sure. What are you doing with that thing?
Okay, just calm down.
Yeah, Chuck, just calm down.
But anyway, once again, we want to. We have a new studio. We redesigned the whole thing from the ground up. We also have a new. We have more personnel in here. Darren is the new director, new regular staff of Rogan Radio. Darren, thanks for
Switch your, there he is.
coming in.
Look at that
Yeah,
mug.
and,
Look at that mug, dude.
Yeah, look at him. Look at him. And what Darren's doing is he's controlling all the camera angles, and that's pretty fantastic. And if you haven't seen the video of it, I know a lot of you listen to the podcast. Go to YouTube, search Rogan Radio. That's one
One
word.
word.
and you'll see all the videos that we do, and they'll be up at some point.
Listen, real quick, what are these things on the microphone right here?
The microphone,
Because this is new too, right? You
Yeah,
got
I
these-
think this is so that he can't hear us vibrate and stuff.
No, yeah, the right. We have new. They're in.
because this is almost like these are very impressive.
Yeah,
Actually,
so
is
you
it kind of like
can
it's
hear
like
vibration,
it's like a
Well,
quiver on a bow, like a
too,
quiver.
Allegedly,
suspended.
allegedly, you don't really
suspended.
hear because they're the microphones now are in
So-
suspended animation.
Yeah, so Todd, you're gonna have to actually
Now
keep
you-
the mic like this, maybe.
You can,
or chomp.
but you can technically, before what would happen is, and that was what was driving us crazy with when Bob was in the studio, he would slam his beer down, and you would hear
Every single time you go bang on
and
that
see-
table with that beer.
And, yeah, so you're not hearing it now because the mics are in suspended animation.
You're gonna drive him crazy, Jimmy.
Sex and vinyl.
Sex and vinyl.
Sex and vinyl.
But anyway, what we need to do is talk about Davy Crockett.
oh,
Davy Crockett. Now listen, we love Davy Crockett. He's part of the Wild Frontier.
Everybody loves Davy Crockett.
There's not a
You
person.
love Davy Crockett, and you
Mark
love
Coffee.
Davy Crockett.
Once again, we want to introduce Mark
Davy
Coffee. Mark
Crockett.
Coffee's Mark Coffee. He's in
King of the Wild Frontier.
Everybody knows that, right? Anyway, Davy Crockett. He is more probably legend than fact. I'm not really sure.
You know what? You were spot on right there, and that's what we're going to talk about real quick.
And
Davy Crockett.
this is almost like
King
watching
of the Wild
Ultraman.
Frontier.
Ultraman. I loved it. Did you guys watch Ultraman?
Oh,
growing up?
definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have never seen one episode of Ultraman.
Really?
Oh,
I think
my
during the
gosh.
next break we need to pull up just so I
And
can
you're our
see.
age. I mean, I can
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah,
Ducko
how did you
or
miss
anything, not
Ultraman?
I don't
watching
know.
it.
It's very isn't it
I don't know.
ridiculous.
I've never watched Ultraman. I've watched Aquaman. Remember Aquaman?
That was for the girls.
Yeah, whatever.
But the
Swam
but the
in
problem
the
is that when I go back now and I watch an episode of Ultraman, I'm like, oh my god, wait a minute, what's different about you?
Yeah.
You're different.
I'm not different.
What's wrong with Jimmy? He's a handsome devil,
Still got
that
braces.
Jimmy is.
Actually, Tuesday I'm supposed to get these bad boys off.
Really?
Tuesday.
How long have you had them on? Tell me.
I don't know, like 7 months.
Really? You gotta let me know where you go because I need to get them suckers too.
You know what? You're not going to need any braces to keep it up
Dr.
because I'm going to
Shooter,
knock all
all
the teeth out
smiles
of it.
dental.
Pow, pow. You know they're
You
moving,
deliver
by the
mail
way.
there.
No, there used to be a 1205 at Cannon Pike. They're moving to King of the Wild
Well,
Frontier.
as far as I know, they're still there.
No, not anymore.
I got an appointment Tuesday. I'm sure.
Listen,
You better
you
hope
drive
so.
over to Nutter Fort and you're getting a locked door because they're
Where
not
they
there
at?
anymore. I think they moved. It seems to me like they moved over
It seems
onto over on Old Route 50.
King of the Wild
Frontier. I'll find out for you and send you a text tomorrow.
Yeah, you do that.
Oh, son of a bitch, I will.
Frontier. Anyway, let's talk about Davy Crockett and less about Jimmy's mouth because we all know how wonderful Jimmy's mouth is.
You know.
Can we get an applause ready? Give me an applause, Jim. Give me an applause ready, Jim.
Anyway,
Alright, I'm gonna get
Davy
an
Crockett,
applause
he's
Put that on real low back here.
Davy
problem,
Crockett,
Todd.
you know Davy Crockett, probably best from John Wayne, actually.
Well, John Wayne played with it.
that a dagger I see before my eyes?
Well, I'm not gonna hit you, Pilgrim.
That's a good one right there. That's a good
Well,
one.
the hell I ain't.
Fake punches.
So anyway, the biggest thing about Davy Crockett that everybody knows is the Alamo. Have you ever been down to San Antonio?
No, but I think
Yes,
American
I
Radio
have.
needs to make a road trip.
Yeah, and you know what? What
Hey,
was,
that's what I talked about. I said the three of us need to make a run to the coast and then.
What's
back
for
up,
now?
swing up.
To where?
All four. Yeah,
listen,
there you
we
go.
can all ride bitch on Darren's bike.
I want to sit in front. I want to sit in front facing.
We could get the sidecar
So
on
you
that
could talk
thing.
about the first thing that pops up.
How many sidecars could you hook on a motorcycle? 4.
Listen, all we need is one.
No, look, you could put one. You could put one on each side,
Would
and then
that
hold
not be funny?
Jimmy's fat ass in the trailer in the back.
Right down the middle. You have a sidecar on both sides, and you see Darren running down the highway. You can use one of those 360 cameras out front, and you can see us on the sides.
Absolutely, man.
Me
Absolutely.
and Todd on the sides, Chuck in the back.
So anyway, somehow, for whatever reason, Todd was doing some research. I mean, we were going to talk about what's her name,
Oh, we were going to talk about
Amelia
Amelia
Earhart.
Earhart, but I said, you know what? Davy Crockett is a more. He's a.
He's a legend.
He's a legend. We know what happened to him. We don't know what happened to Amelia Earhart.
Actually, you know what?
Give a rundown. There's a lot of people
Actually-
don't know what happened to him.
Actually,
Nobody knows what happened.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not even sure. I've heard that he died at the Alamo, but I've also heard that he didn't die at the Alamo
Listen,
because they don't know.
Mark Coffey's shaking his head no, like he didn't
You
die.
don't
So
think- you
let's
don't- you
get
don't
Mark
think?
Coffey in the
Mark-
studio. If we can get him down here behind the mic and put some headphones on.
We're watching the 1960s version of the Alamo here with John Wayne here, by the way. Jim Bowie was great in this, too.
Yeah, and you know what? This is kind of what inspired me to do a little reading on David Crockett because of this movie. I was watching this movie this weekend,
All right.
or part of it anyhow.
Tell us what you
John,
tell us what you learned.
This segment is called Myth America.
Myth America.
Hand clap, please. Hand clap, please. Myth America.
This week's Myth America spotlight on Davy Crockett.
Davy Crockett, the
King of
myth.
the Wild Frontier.
Ba-dum-bum. Shh. Listen, Davy Crockett was an American hero.
No shit.
This is the myth. This
Oh,
we're gonna do this every time, huh? You mother.
Well,
Dave-
everything you say is so important.
Yeah, no. Here's the myth. This is the American myth. You want to hear it?
yeah.
That Davy Crockett was an American hero, a clean-cut frontier Superman. You know, that's how we think of him. Who, listen, killed a bear when he was only 3, was the greatest Indian fighter of his day. Listen, he could shoot better than any man alive, Davy Crockett. Good.
Oh, yeah.
He was a respected congressman who considered running for president. Did you know that?
What state from it?
This
What
is the
state?
month.
What
West,
state?
West Virginia.
Tennessee.
Okay, I know. I just said West Virginia because I was just joking. He
I
was.
think. Was it?
And
was
here's
it Tennessee?
here's the
Or
last.
was it Kentucky? Tennessee, right?
No, I think Kentucky, wasn't it?
Kentucky? Okay.
Well, we'll say Kentucky because we don't know. And the last myth was that he was the last man to die at the Alamo. Because isn't that how this movie was? Like at the end, remember? They bust open and then they're like, and all the Mexicans are there with their rifles and they just mowed them all down. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Here's a little.
Tell us the reality.
Here's
of
a
the
little
situation.
here's a little background on David Crockett. Much of the information was taken from the I can't even talk. Much of this information was taken from Davy Crockett's autobiography. In a series of Crockett almanacs, which were published between 1835 and 1856. But listen, it was Walt Disney who made the legend stick, which a lot of these, a lot of its myths are from Hollywood and TV.
Right.
We don't know this. Let's see. Disney made in December of '54, they unveiled a TV miniseries about Crockett with an episode called Davy Crockett, Indian Fighter. Do you remember that? It was Walt Disney.
I played that video game, I think.
You did not. The folk hero became an instant national fad. Surprising, even old Uncle Walt, he didn't even know it was going to be that big. In a matter of months, merchants sold millions of dollars
Millions.
worth of official Davy Crockett coonskin hats, bubblegum cards, toy guns, and fringed jackets. Remember how they used to wear like the fringed
Oh, absolutely.
jackets?
Did you ever have a coonskin hat cap when you grew up?
You know what? Maybe I did.
That was purely probably from Davy Crockett and probably from this Disney movie, this 1960s flick that Disney made up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah, a lot of this stuff. Was. It says right here that all it takes to create a widely accepted myth is a popular historical movie or a television show or a damn good liar like Davy Crockett. Here's the truth about Davy Crockett. He was a drunk who deserted his wife and children. Bing. Number one.
My kind of man.
Here's another truth about Davy Crockett. Here's another truth about Davy Crockett. A scout. He was a scout who avoided going into battle against the Indians by hiring a substitute.
What?
So he hired a substitute to go into battle for him because he was a freaking chicken shit. That's why.
But what about Jim Bowie, though? I mean, they were.
Well,
they were
we're not
good
talking
friends.
about Jim Bowie. We're
Yeah,
talking
but
about
they were
Davy
good friends,
Crockett.
though, right?
Well, that's what they say, I guess. It is on the movies, it is.
Mm-hmm.
As a congressman, he had one of the worst absentee records in history.
No
As a
kidding.
congressman, yeah.
So he turned out he was a POS. Then is what you're saying?
He was a POS.
But you know what, though? I can tell you this. I can tell you one thing about Davy Crockett. I mean, I can't say this about everybody. They have a pancake shop named after him, a Pigeon Forge. and he was the king of the wild frontier. And he has a pretty cool song named after him. Fess Parker?
Do you know if he did die in the Alamo last? How did they get an accurate account of it? No one was alive.
King of the wild
No one was
frontier.
alive to actually say what actually happened. The Mexicans can make up anything, you know.
They were making
They could have
tacos.
went
They
in there
weren't
and
even worried
just
about it.
freaking destroyed everybody, and then was like, "Yeah, they put up a great fight. Good, yeah."
You know, they would have if they would have saw what was going to happen. King of the wild frontier. What they would have done is built the wall before Trump wanted to,
See?
and then they wouldn't have to worry about all this stuff.
See? Don't just build the Alamo, build the wall.
Who played Davy Crockett in the Walt Disney's 1954 version?
Well,
the
I know-
TV series.
No,
They played in the
no
TV
idea.
series.
John,
Fess Parker. Remember
King
Fess
of
Parker?
the wild frontier. I know Wayne was in 1960, but I have no idea it was on TV.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You don't know? You asked a question.
Harp. What was the question?
Who played Davy Crockett in the TV series?
Fess Parker played in the
King of
TV
the wild
series.
frontier.
Fess Parker.
He also played Superman, right?
No, you stupid ass.
but not the greatest one of all time.
Listen,
compared to-
right.
according to Jeremy.
Arthur John Fisher from the Harper's Magazine said he was never king of anything except maybe the Tennessee Tall Tales and Bourbon Samplers Association.
So was it Tennessee or Kentucky?
Tennessee, it says right here. It said when he claimed that he shot 105 bears in 9 months, his fellow tipplers refused to believe a word of it. And on the grounds of that, Davy Crockett couldn't count that high. Listen, Davy Crockett was not the hero that you think he was.
King of the
Wild
wild frontier.
Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier.
That's good stuff. I'm ready for it. I'm in the mood for pancakes now.
I'm gonna
Listen, Murray Kepton from the New York Post wrote
Square
that
dancing.
Davy grew up a very brave young man who would bear any hardship to escape a routine day of work.
Daggone it!
Man, sounds like you.
No,
You know
I
what?
worked very hard.
It sounds like it sounds like a great grooming to be senator of the United States.
That's true.
He was not a very good congressman.
Was he a
So?
congressman or a senate? A house?
He was
Doesn't
a
matter.
congressman.
Usually the top ones
Congressman.
just find
Yeah,
a way to make
okay.
it.
Yeah,
move up.
he had the worst absentee record in history.
That's because he was out fighting Indians and Mexicans
know,
and shit,
man.
man. Get off his back.
Oh, well.
on.
Anyhow, there's your 2 cents on Davy Crockett.
Wow, he turned out not to be the guy that I saw in the movie. And we used to watch those things in grade school down at the gym. Darren, do you remember that? When
Yes.
down at the grade school,
Down at the gym?
Yeah, absolutely. When you could even like for 25 cents or something get
Yeah.
like a bag of popcorn or some junk like that. It was fantastic.
You watched
man.
Davy Crockett in school?
Oh shit, man! It was any Disney movie. You had who was with Don Knotts and the Apple Dumpling Game. Yeah.
Tim Conway.
Tim
Tim
Conway.
Conway, absolutely. We used to watch that stuff all the time, and I watch those movies. When I see those movies come on right now, granted, I turn them right off.
No. They're fantastic.
No, I
Even
still watch
today.
them.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I
even
don't know.
today they're
I
great.
searched for something a little more modern, like
No, I like them. We were just talking about that the other day, weren't we? Commando. God, that's the worst movie ever made, Jim.
what?
Commando. This is, you know.
That's Arnold. Arnold.
Yeah, Arnold. How many bullets were shot at that guy, and he never ever got shot?
Because he was
In
better than Davy
Commando.
Crockett.
That's right, man. That's right.
Well, he
Anyway-
was better than Dave Crockett.
Anyway, we are we're actually here's the apple. Here's a little apple dumpling game action right here.
Oh, it's
That is stuff. That is
Listen,
good
how
stuff.
could you not
Just
like
look-
watching this stuff?
Just look at the way they run. It's almost like they're purposely running like
You know, one of
doofuses.
these. What you know? I've seen in
Look at Don Knotts.
yeah,
He's
love it,
so-
man.
he's the-
Morgantown Zone. But you know, like the derby hat there, right? Is that what they call a derby hat?
yes.
The one on the
Why
right?
is
Yeah, the
why
one
is
on
it
the
in
right.
all the westerns you see guys with derby hats on?
Because that's the only, I don't know.
Maybe that was the style.
I
back
would,
then.
you would always think they were wearing cowboy hats.
Kinda
or
like
something.
Todd wearing thongs is the style now. Well, that was the style back then.
It's still the
You know,
style
why
today.
is it? And here's another great question: why is it Don Knotts can hold a rifle in these movies, but didn't have a gun? No, he did have a gun in Andy Griffith. It
Yeah,
was
but he
one
didn't
He only had
bullet.
one bullet.
Yeah, and he kept it in his shirt pocket too.
Well, look at him. Would you want that guy with? You know, the first one's going to miss every time. Would you want that guy with would you want him with another with like a 9mm where he could
Hey,
unload?
look at him. He's like cross-eyed. Like, you think he's going to hit anything?
Tim Conway.
Now you
He's
know I
looking
got to
at
go
like,
home and watch this. Now.
You know what the worst thing ever? Let me tell you something about Tim Conway, and I don't like him. I don't like him at all when he does the. Do you like Tim Conway?
Yeah.
Darren, do you like Tim Conway?
Yes.
I do.
When he does that midget, what was the golf thing? When he would go out there, what is it?
Dork on
golf, and he would
Dorf
have to be
on
up
golf.
those. Yeah, okay. You see, that drives me crazy. And the worst person I've ever seen on screen, Jonathan Winters. Can't stand that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Jonathan Winters, I cannot stand.
The only memory I really have of
like
Jonathan
that guy,
Winters is from Mork and Mindy. I didn't catch him in anything else.
Yeah, when he played the baby or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! And you know
Yeah.
what? That was
horrible.
That was, but that was typical. The way just his voice and stuff. It's,
Yeah.
it's almost like an Adam Sandler kind of thing. You know what I mean? I was like, come on.
Do you
man.
know where I remember Tim Conway from the most?
What?
You remember the Carol Burnett
Carol
show?
Burnett show.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, he
yeah.
was on him, and you know what? We always can't remember the other. Who played opposite Tim Conway in all those skits. Try to look it up, Jimmy. The Carol Burnett cast. Remember? Oh man,
See,
I wish I could remember that guy's
Was
name.
was he on Hollywood Squares?
They were
Paul
all
Long.
on
Let me
Hollywood
tell you,
Squares.
Paul Long, was it Paul Long?
Paul
No.
Long. Oh my gosh, was he a nut or
He
what?
was a crazy.
See, I can't see that guy's face in my head at all. Dude, pull up
Yeah,
Carol Burnett.
Harvey.
Harvey. That's the guy I'm thinking about, Jimmy.
Harvey Keitel.
No,
No. Harvey
Harvey
Korman.
Korman.
Harvey Korman.
Harvey
Yeah,
Korman.
he always
Korman.
played him and Tim Conway always did skits together. Guy was hilarious.
hilarious.
Yeah, Tim Conway and Harvey Korman on the Carol Burnett show. Check it out, YouTube.
I agree with your side, Jimmy.
What?
Jimmy was like,
Why? Because the Penguins losing?
No.
Oh, you
Because
just
you're
don't.
talking.
God. Give me some Carol Burnett. We don't want to watch hockey. Put Carol Burnett up here.
hey, next segment, we're going to talk about E3 opened up today, actually. We're going to talk about this new game called Battlefront. It's set in, Call of Duty and Battlefront went in completely different directions.
Thank God.
Battlefield, I should say.
Thank God.
Battlefield went back to World War I, which looks a lot like World War II. It's going to be an absolutely bad game.
I read something
Awesome
where
game, I mean,
Battlefield
but-
1 is going to have like a few, like not just World War One. It's going to have like battles from several eras there.
See, that's going to
I
be
think
pretty
that's
cool.
where it brings in like the horses and.
Well, they
you know
were
what I mean,
using
all that
horses in
stuff.
World War
Yeah, I
One.
guess
Oh, they were using horses in
Yeah.
World War
I read
II.
something where it was saying it would be like several historic battles,
Sort of like a Black Ops thing where they would
Yeah,
go
yes.
back and forth. Call of Duty. I read that this latest Call of Duty is the worst pre-selling Call of Duty that they've had yet. Now, granted, that's probably still 30 million.
Well, yeah, but they're
but-
just Call of Duty. That
Still,
franchise is. I think that thing's just getting. It's
Yeah.
just getting wore out.
Yeah.
That Call of Duty.
Man, I love zombies, but even we never play that anymore. Even
Yeah, no, nobody plays Call of
It's
Duty.
it's.
anymore.
I think
quit
when it
playing
comes
Call
to
of Duty a long time ago.
yeah, see, that's what I mean.
I think after the first Black Ops, I think it was the last time I quit playing. That's the last time I played.
Yeah, see, it's been a long time. It's been a long time for me. I mean, I bought this. What is it? Black Ops 3, I think it is now.
You actually
and it-
bought that
yeah.
one?
Yeah, I do have it. I
really?
got it for like $40. I
Yeah, I
waited.
haven't.
I
You know, we
waited.
need to get Matt on here, don't we, and talk about some of this. Get Matt
Matty, he's he might actually be out in
out there for E3 now.
Yeah, I think he
Oh,
might
that would be
be.
fantastic. To
He
get
might
the guy
be.
on here.
Yeah, Christian keeps asking me to go. I'm like,
Where's that? Is that in Pittsburgh?
oh, E3's out in L.A., dude.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Or
Everything's
is
in
it
Pittsburgh.
Is it in Vegas or?
Well, see, now they used to be in Vegas, but now it might be in
I think
LA.
it's in LA.
Why
now.
is everything
It's
out in LA?
California.
BlizzCon's out there.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's crazy. Everything's out there.
I don't know.
Nothing East Coast, man. What the heck?
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know what you would think? Why wouldn't it?
Radio road trip.
Road trip to LA.
Why? You know, most of this shit does happen out there. I mean, out on the West Coast, and maybe it's because of the time. Because I know today they did it at 1:00. Started at 1:00 with the EA stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What they announced on Battlefront that Lando and something else was going to come out. It was going to drop.
No, what is that? Just a character you could be? As
Yeah,
Lando?
it's
you know
like
how they got-
DLC, you
yeah.
know, something like that. It'll probably cost you $20.
I got the
Maybe.
season pass. It won't cost
So,
anything.
So I saw where Destiny's coming out with a new download.
Yep,
I'm like, God,
yep.
the last one was so long ago, and everybody quit playing that by now.
Well,
yeah,
didn't
see,
they
that's another one. What was that game? Destiny, the who made that game, the Bungie,
Yeah.
who started Halo,
Halo,
which started the Xbox. I mean, I bought the Xbox solely for Halo.
Oh, I did too.
Yeah, absolutely.
we all did.
And they said this when Destiny first came out, it was going to be what, like a 10-year game or some crazy junk
Yeah,
like that.
Ended up being about
Listen.
a 10-month game.
Let me ask you this about
Well, it just got so repetitive.
how about the
Yeah.
Division?
See, now listen.
Tell me about the Division. You guys have been playing the Division.
We've been playing the shit out of that. And what'd you tell me that GameStop gave that as a rating? Like 2 point something?
2.5.
2.5 stars or something?
Terrible
from GameStop.
rating.
And then somebody else said that, was it Darren? Was it you that said something about the sales on that? Oh, I can't remember.
No, it wasn't me.
No, it wasn't you. But anyhow, we're having a hell of a good time playing that game.
Yeah, it reminds me of like a nonfiction Gears of War.
Yeah. It's
Like more of like a real world Gears of War type stuff. Because it's that third person cover and hide, fire. You know.
And it probably, I mean, this is, I'm guessing when it comes to the Division is with your buddies kind of game.
It's definitely it's a team game.
If I was by myself, I don't know that I would like it as much.
No, you got to be in there with your boys because a lot of the missions you go, almost every single one of them, you have to have.
Now,
Destiny's sort of the same way though, right?
I don't.
If you're not,
you could play it. It would be better playing Destiny by yourself than Division by yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it definitely makes it funner with.
Now, World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
you
that's
get
my game.
You
That's
get
a
it,
PC game, so.
right? But you get into clans and stuff like that, so you don't.
Guilds.
But you're not playing by yourself in that game either, are you?
Well, there's PvP, player versus player. Then there's PvE, player versus environment. My son, he does most of the PvP stuff. I do all the PvE, where you're just out against the environment and all that stuff. But when you're in a guild, you have a bunch of players with you, like you have a bunch of friends. It's basically like you guys get in clans. Then you go out and you do quests and you level up together and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And speaking of World of Warcraft, we'll come. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. They have a new movie actually based on that called Warcraft.
Yeah, it looks great too.
And
our very own Darren has already seen that.
He's already seen
He's
that
going to
thing.
give us a nice little.
So we'll get a little sneak peek into that. And we went and saw last Wednesday, Todd and I and Ducko. You would know him from the show. The greatest movie
Number
of all
1,
time.
1984.
1984. We're going to tell you about what it was like to see. It's been a long time. It's been since 1984 since we saw Ghostbusters on the silver screen, and you know what? It looked pretty shitty.
Yeah, it looked real shitty. You'd love it.
Oh no, we'll talk about we'll talk about that. Ghostbusters, great movie.
Did Ducko have a smile on his face the entire movie?
Well, I couldn't tell because
Chuck did it because he was sitting next to Jeremy's sister.
Yeah.
Where's our porn music?
So did you see the movie?
In 1984, I did. But we'll go ahead and talk about that and just how funny how things are with technology now. Because we saw a preview for the new Ghostbusters coming out, and wow, completely different. I mean, it's just between film and digital, it's just a night and day. But anyway, once again, I want to thank you for listening. You're listening to Rogan Radio, and you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. If you are listening to us now, of course, if you can do that on YouTube. iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher. We're still trying to get on TuneIn Radio, and I don't know why I'm having such a hang up on that. Their application to actually submit the podcast is a real. I don't understand it. Actually, I think Google Play now. You can go to the Google Play Store and you can Google Play Music. I should say you can listen to Rogan Radio now. TuneIn Radio. I don't know why. Every time I put the application in, I'm having problems with it.
Christian got us hooked up on Spotify, right?
Spotify's on there. Pandora. We're on Pandora
for some reason. I don't know how that happened, right?
You don't know. I know. I didn't even submit that thing.
Did you hit record?
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you're listening to Rogan Radio, and we want to introduce once again the newest member of the full-time staff, Darren Hartman. He is the absolute director over there. Look at him over there. He's controlling all the camera angles and everything else.
He's our clicker.
He is the clicker, and so it's absolutely nice to have this because it adds. It adds
a certain sense of professionality. That's my new word for the day, professionality.
I reckon it does.
You reckon it does. Hey, listen, that means we're growing. That means Rogan Radio is growing. When we have to get another guy in here on the paid staff.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Right?
I mean,
paying him? Are you paying Darren?
Darren
Or are you taking it out in some kind of sexual favor?
No, Darren is on the paid staff like you guys. You're getting $3,000 a month, and you know what? It's
Jimmy?
so big.
Jimmy?
It's a write-off.
What do you do with all your money, Jim?
It's a write-off.
Also, it's only on paper.
House.
We just get paid on paper.
IOUs.
Oh.
the coal mining business is very demanding right now.
What the hell is that? The Terminator or
Yes.
the Predator?
Listen, Christian does a great Predator.
He does really.
He really does. One of the big movies coming out. Let's put it this way. Let's start out with the movie that we just watched. It was Ghostbusters. We went back. There was a movie in 1984, and one of the guys that did that of the show, Jeremy Duckworth. We should have called Jeremy up. He loves the 1984's version of the Ghostbusters. Now, we went and saw this thing on the silver screen.
Last Wednesday, June 8th, I think. They had 2 showings up at Cinemark, 1 at 2, 1 at 7. We said, hey, listen, which one did we go see? Oh, the 7 p.m. Didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We did.
And you know what? When you watch a movie on the big screen in 2016 that came out in 1984, you can really tell this movie came out in 1984.
It's really funny because at there are so many that the CGI wasn't CGI. First of all, it was filmed on film and not digital.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Back then,
everything's
it was on
digital
film.
now.
And right, and so
No, Star Wars was not. Star Wars was film, right? Episode 7. Didn't JJ
they went
film
back?
that on
They
film?
went back, but they used a lot of practical stuff. And but
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
go back and watch a movie, like say Ghostbusters, for example, from 1984, and they didn't have the CGI stuff, and I don't know what the budget was for that movie, but it really looks like shit.
Well, back then it was a lot of money, but when you were 14 years old, man, it was the
Oh,
shit,
you
man.
remember thinking, "Oh my gosh, how'd they do Slimer and stuff? That was cool."
And
then you
Jeremy still has that perception. He still thinks it's the greatest thing ever. But when we go back and watch something like Buck Rogers in the 25th century that we watched on TV 30 years ago, we can't hardly stomach to watch an episode now
no,
because
right?
That's what we were going to do. We were
Battlestar
gonna-
Galactica.
Yeah.
that's
Oh.
a great one right there.
I like
That's
Buck
a
Rogers.
great
there's
example.
Ultraman. There you go.
Okay, now Todd has never seen Ultraman. Now we used to watch Ultraman. Oh my goodness gracious!
is this the
there
opening
you
right
go.
here?
Yeah, this
It looks so 70s, doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind of
Late
looks like
60s.
somebody was on acid when they
Yeah.
did this. They said,
The
let's
great-
make some...
the great thing about Ultraman. And when I watched Ultraman, I was thinking of it when I watched Ultraman.
Does that say
on
Ultraman?
Yeah.
It was on
It's in Japanese.
once again the PGH channel 53 out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It was like the greatest show ever. We used to watch it on black and white TVs. with the dials that would
Yeah.
break, with they had the plastic
Yeah.
knobs, and when they break,
It was
them,
number 13.
You
Yeah.
put just
Yeah.
a flathead
exactly.
screwdriver in there and turn
Yeah,
it.
Click, click,
you'd
click.
absolutely have to get a flathead screwdriver. So then when I go back and watch it now, I should have never done that because I see what it is.
Yeah.
Where was it?
We need to do an episode, a segment, maybe next week or
Let's
something,
see.
just on the old
I wanna-
stuff that we used to watch. You know what I mean?
I want to fast forward. Yeah, you know what? That would be a great idea.
Because there's so many of those old TV shows
But
that we grew up with.
the dude there with his
Right there. I want to see Ultraman because
the dude that has he had like the little lightsaber thing, right?
Oh,
And he would
that's-
hold it up in the air and he would like flick the button and he would turn into Ultraman.
Yeah.
It's probably this guy. He's wearing a tie too, by the way. Pretty impressive. But that's Ultraman.
yeah, I can't. There we go.
I want to, and man, I love Ultraman.
What does he do? He's just standing there.
No, wait, I'm going to get to a fight scene. This is like,
Okay, yeah, fast forward because this is
yeah,
pretty
I'm
boring.
looking.
Is this a movie?
Show.
Oh, look at the laser guns. That actually looks pretty good for 1960. Okay, now take off a running through the woods. Okay, look back.
But
look
the
back.
uniform
Almost
keeps
sounded
running.
like Godzilla. Did you hear that?
Oh, you know daggone well. Check this out. I wonder how real this looks. Whoa.
What's playing?
Something else
Who's
is.
got that?
That's not. There it is. Check out the cool ass, absolutely real looking submarine. For people who can't see it, we're watching this. Is that Ultraman's submarine right there?
Penn's playing.
Is that Ultraman? Is he looking for Ultraman?
I don't even see Ultraman fighting in this thing. Have we seen Ultraman yet?
No. Yeah, we saw one little scene of him. There's a laser. This is stupid.
Yeah. Look at that.
Okay, so some gasoline.
Oh, wait a minute. Here we go.
Oh.
We're fast forwarding. I apologize for the inconvenience of not being prepared. But there's Ultraman.
How big is
sounds like
Ultraman?
Godzilla.
It does.
little.
That sounds exactly like Godzilla.
Well, this is Japanese, bro.
Now Ultraman has had many variations through his day, right? And this is the one I remember.
Is Ultra?
Look at the guy dressed up in the Godzilla outfit. This might be Godzilla.
No, this is 66, so Godzilla was around already, wasn't
Oh
he?
yeah, Godzilla's been around since the 50s, I think.
Look, he actually has Japanese eyes in a suit. The slanty eyes.
Uh-oh, you're in
Oh
trouble
no.
now.
Is that Iron Man? An early version of Iron Man?
Yeah.
Listen, this is good shit right here. He's about ready to explode. You hear it?
Yeah. Ultraman explodes? Does he have a superpower?
Yeah.
He's Ultraman.
What does
right
he
here.
do?
You're going to see it right here. Man, that's an awful looking Godzilla. Oh, it even has this. Are they making fun of Godzilla?
Here he goes. He's flying.
Look at that. Look at that. That is just awful looking, isn't it?
That Godzilla thing is looking around like, I don't know what's going on. Now we
It
got
looks like
Ultraman.
a paper. Oh,
He's
they're
gonna get him
having.
from
They're
behind.
doing it.
Okay, there's the zipper to hold Ultraman.
And I don't know what it is. In America, whenever they have about this time, what they would do was they would like fast
to a
forward.
commercial?
No,
It was horrible.
what they would like American movies. They use that.
That's the beginning of WWF.
They would have the like the fast forward motion. You know, like when you drive, if you want to show somebody driving fast, you let them drive 25 miles an hour, but you fast forward it, and you could tell. But Japanese stuff like this, they would do the slow-mo action. Man, I want to see the dude do the cross. You know, that was like his thing.
You enjoyed this as a child?
Oh my goodness, you kidding me?
This is so.
That was episode 1, though, so that's probably they were just getting off the ground.
Right. Okay. Let's
The
try another
clips
one.
would probably
Right there.
be the best.
Yeah.
This is when we're gonna want to see Ultraman do his like cross-handed cross.
I'd just like to see Ultraman do something.
Yeah, he has like a man. I can't. You can go on YouTube like what we're doing right now, and
Is Ultraman in any of these episodes? Because we've seen him in like.
yeah, I'm going through this one here. I love this preview option too. By
That
the
looked
way.
like Godzilla right there. And back further where you were at.
Ultraman. God, this is horrible, man.
Oh no, it absolutely is.
No, I mean, even if I was 8 years old, this would.
No,
be
this.
horrible.
No, absolutely not.
Really?
One in the 60s, you'd have ate this up.
Shit.
Anyway, I'm trying to find one. I just want to see him do his special maneuver thing.
Well,
there.
just show me physically from your chair. We just saw this one.
There,
Look,
that's
it's
probably in
episode
that,
one.
the clips.
There we go, buddy. Once again, we're watching Ultraman. And look at these.
Oh my God,
This is-
Chuck!
Look at this. Is this not the best thing ever?
He's
You're looking at Ultraman fighting monsters that are tearing up model kind of cities, and it's absolutely the best. Go to YouTube and just put in Ultraman.
Is that a giant bat? It is.
I'm not really sure what it is.
There's all kinds of weird stuff there.
I
Look at this
am.
thing. I mean, it's.
Oh
Listen,
my God! Turn
Is that
this
a
off.
snake?
This is Pokemon before Pokemon.
Or Pokemon, whatever. How you want to say it?
Look, that thing's back. He didn't kill it.
Hell no, it's not.
How tall is Ultraman, by the way?
Oh, he's
is
at
he
least-
like 75
That's
feet
like
tall?
Godzilla or something.
There you go. Here you go.
Big battles. I want to see. Come on, that's a
See,
Michelin Man.
There must be something about. Though they're in a stadium here fighting. Very impressive. Look at this stuff.
Is
man.
that the Wampa?
Oh, you just
That's
tore
the
down.
Wampa, dude. Before
Look
the
at this.
Wampa.
Like, this is what. This is. Look at this. They're in a big city fighting. Absolutely fantastic.
No,
look at
this is not fantastic.
Oh,
this
it's-
is for our listeners. This is the most painful thing that they've ever had to endure.
You're right about
Look at that.
Just go ahead if you're a fan of Ultraman. And
If you're a fan of Ultraman, please lay under
And
your
we all are.
SUV.
Yep.
Let it get
We all are.
neutral.
Look at he's right. He's
right.
look at look at that thing, man. Look at this.
No, this is bad, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh my
that's,
I can't watch this no more. You
but
watch
that's
this, dude.
Ultraman. Todd's never saw Ultraman, and now I
You know
kinda
what?
get
Now
maybe
I'm
why.
pretty sure. I'm glad I never did.
But one of the big. Oh, here we go. There we go. Here we go. Here's where there. This is when the guy becomes Ultraman.
I mean, it's actually
He's actually a human guy, and he has this little lightsaber thing, and he flies through the air and stuff.
No, that looked pretty good.
Yeah, it didn't look bad. See that?
No, that looks pretty stupid.
But listen, man, look at
there's two
fighting
Ultramans.
Ultraman, and they hurt him.
Didn't it? I think there was one at one point where Ultraman and Godzilla teamed up to fight people, if I remember correctly.
Oh, it could have very well been. I mean, he's already fighting the Loch Ness monster, and there he goes. That's all I wanted to see right there.
I'm sorry it took 27 minutes to get there.
Look at that.
Cool powers. Cool powers. Anything like Steve?
See,
Oh, he's
I forgot
got
about the
X-ray
X-ray
vision.
vision. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, he's got
Yeah.
a force. Oh, he shows those
Look at
donuts.
that action. Listen, this is a podcast, and we're talking about visuals. If you want to check this out, make sure you go to YouTube and do a search for Rogan Radio, one word. Latest episode 30, and you will see exactly what we're talking about, how terrible Ultraman actually could be.
Or you know what? If you are on the, if you're tipping the scales on whether you want to commit suicide or not, and if you go to YouTube and type in Ultraman, there'll be no question. You'll end it right now.
Hey, listen, I'm going to go, and after we get done with this episode, I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch every single one of these now because they're all on YouTube.
Why
and
would
I'm
you
gonna
do
it
that?
Because this is good shit. That's
This
basically
is
what I'm talking
stupid.
about. Actually, but the big movie is right now. Well, we were talking about Ghostbusters before we got to this.
Yeah.
And you could see some of the CGI stuff in Ghostbusters to where.
Did you call it CGI or was it just more like practical effects?
I'm not really sure what it was, but you could see where when they would put
like Slimer.
The streamers.
You would see like Slimer right there, and then all of a sudden he would come in like at you. It's almost like they just like they put that Slimer on a table or something and slid it toward the camera and then superimposed it on.
But that's the bad thing about it. When you're watching movies from yesteryear and you see them now, you can see all the flaws. Say like Star Wars, A New Hope, number 4.
Yeah.
You could see like the TIE fighter. You could see all the flaws in the movie that you didn't see when you watched it the first time because at the time you watched it, it was like badass. It was like groundbreaking. Ghostbusters a failure. In that aspect, they should have redone that. They should have redid.
No,
that.
they just did. They just redid Ghostbusters.
Well, with the one with the chicks, it's going to be fantastic as far as
July
Jeremy
12th.
thinks so too.
You think it's going to be better? I mean,
I
it's
don't-
going
I
to be
don't-
fantastic.
Well-
not better, but I mean,
you
think it's
I-
going to be fantastic.
Ducko
Really?
says everything's better with women.
I don't know if it's. I think as far as visuals go, I think it's actually not going to be a bad flick.
No, visually it is. Now, if you're a diehard Ghostbusters fan like Jeremy, you're probably not going to be very happy. But I think it's going to be pretty darn good.
If you can go in it not thinking of Dan Aykroyd or Harold Ramis and Bill Murray,
Keep an open mind.
Yeah,
Sure.
if you can go into it with a different kind of perspective, I think it's not going to be that bad of a flick. I think it'll actually be pretty entertaining.
So basically, like with the True Grits.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's
much.
basically what
Pretty
it's
much.
exactly that.
Because I thought the new True Grit was actually pretty good.
It was
Yeah.
real good.
But I didn't go in expecting John Wayne performance.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
just the same as there's been plenty of remakes like Judge Dredd.
Way better.
What was the other one?
RoboCop.
RoboCop. The new
RoboCop was
RoboCop
great on
I
nice,
actually like
too.
better than
I
the
can't watch those
original.
originals. Those originals are horrible. The first one was bad enough, but then they started. How many did they make? 2 or 3 or 4 of those RoboCops?
yeah.
Every time they just got worse and worse and
butchered
worse. Oh, horrible.
Well, the thing is though, when you watch them when they're released, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that bad. But then when you go back and you watch them, 20 years later, you're like, oh my god, this is terrible. But one of the big movies is Warcraft. Now, this movie is based upon, I guess, off of the video game, very popular video game. The World of Warcraft, which I've never played.
Yeah,
I've
which
never done
actually, when the game first came out on PC, it was just called Warcraft, and then it kind of went into like Darren was saying, Warcraft 3, and then and now it's known as World of Warcraft.
it. Okay.
Right. When they come out with the MMORPG, and they actually put it in that, because when it was Warcraft, Warcraft 2, and Warcraft 3, it was basically like a StarCraft.
Right.
Like a time-based
right.
battle, but now it's a massively multiplayer online role-playing. So.
And you actually got to see this movie.
Yes. I
And
did.
it kind of reminds me when I'm watching the preview of it here. It kind of looks a lot like a
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the
kind thing?
Rings, Hobbit, kind of like one of those really badass kind of flicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The-
it's somewhat similar as far as fantasy goes, but it's deeper into the fantasy.
Right.
I mean, as
More
far
of-
as
yeah.
the races go and
It
everything.
looks
Yeah,
like
which-
it looks like it goes
So-
deeper into races and magic and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Now, when in comparison, I mean, you're a World of Warcraft player.
Almost dead. I've been playing since vanilla, since it came out in 2000.
Now, let me ask you this though: when you watch the movie, how much coincides with the game?
I mean, is it parallels? I mean, are there? Is
Yeah,
it
it parallels quite a bit. Now, as far as the game and the movie, in the game, you start the game, with all the races, and everything. So, but in the movie, the orcs didn't come along till the Burning Legion. But then in the game, they were there the whole time. I mean, in the lore, in the books and everything, it explains everything.
Right.
That's what's good about
June 10th.
the World of Warcraft and everything, is they have a series of books that explains the lore as well as the in-game stories.
Right. Right.
So,
See,
but I had real high expectations for this movie, and I'm not disappointed at all. Seriously.
Now, does the when you play the game? I mean, it is like an RPG, multiplayer game. I mean,
Right.
in a world sense, is there? When you play the game, is there a story to the game like there is? I mean, did they try
Yes.
to? Okay, so did
Right.
Yes.
So the story kind of fell into place, I guess.
Yeah. They actually the movie actually takes place during, which was the first expansion of the game, during the Burning Legion time, when the orcs sent in. They were corrupted by this bad energy called Fel energy, and they came in to take over Azeroth, and that's what's going on here.
Right.
One of the ones that turns out to be a real powerful mage, Khadgar. They show him at the beginning before he becomes that, because Medivh,
Right.
the guardian of Azeroth. It's been peace all the way up until now, and then now Azeroth's been invaded. So.
Now,
So,
can you-
if someone that has never played Warcraft goes and watches this movie, will they understand what's going on based on just the movie?
I think this will give him a way into the Warcraft environment. You know what I mean? This will make him. This will. What do you call it? It'll make them aware.
It kinda introduce them to the whole thing.
introduce them
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
it. And then once you get in, you'll see where in the whole scheme of things. Because like I said, this thing's been around since 2004.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
I mean,
So I mean, it's just. Millions of people play this
Oh
game.
yeah.
that's fantastic. And you know what? I've never. That was one thing I never got into was World of Warcraft, and I'm not really
Was
sure
it?
why, because it was like one of those things where everybody was playing. It's like one of those massively online multiplayer kind of
Is
deals.
it for the They have it for the console too,
No.
or is it just
No,
PC?
it's just PC.
PC.
Okay. Yeah. Well, see, that's probably
Yeah.
why we've never. Well, you were a PC guy for a while.
For a
though,
long
weren't you?
time,
I've
yeah.
played PC games. Too.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
never
for a
have.
long
So I've just always been console. So I wonder why something like that, as popular as Warcraft, why wouldn't they kind of transition over to the console?
The closest that I've seen the consoles get to something like this would probably
Scale-wise would
be
Battlefield.
Battlefield. Yeah, scale wise.
Scale-wise.
Yeah, or even the
Oh, what's the Elder
the
Scrolls?
the
or
new
something.
the Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
That's the closest that they have come.
Yeah.
To,
I just wondered
It's just
to
so
to-
massive. I
yeah,
mean, it's just so big. I don't know that a console
Yeah.
could hold everything that's
there's
going
so
on.
much information that's going. I mean, there's raids that you do. You have like 25 people raids. I mean, there's even bigger ones than that. And there's so much power being used, so much information being used on the
Right.
screen.
They
It's
don't think
just-
maybe
it's
the
just
console couldn't handle
insane.
something
I don't
like
think
that.
they can. I don't think there's enough power.
Now we're watching actually another game coming out. This is actual gameplay from Battlefront 1. Now this game is going to be absolutely fantastic in the sense of
Yes, it
it's going
is,
to be
man.
something different. This is actual gameplay that they released today from E3.
I love
It's
this.
based on in World War One.
I love the settings. I love
Yeah,
the
I
See,
just
that
like
takes
the
me
map.
back to Call of Duty 3.
Absolutely.
I love this.
Yeah.
Now I might not see this right here. I'm going to end up buying this.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, absolutely.
Now the cool thing, one thing that has really been I always loved about say Call of Duty games was the fact that they've always had a great campaign. One thing I like about Battlefront, Battlefield games is that they sound so good. They sound so good. I mean the thing about the say like Battlefield. That's a good kill. The thing about Battlefield, Battlefront, I'm going to say those in tandem now.
Listen, it just sounds so damn good.
Yeah. Is it the fact they can get kind of complicated? You know what I mean? Because you have so many different classes and things like that. Call of Duty's more like a run and gun. You have to play basically as a team, as a squad when it comes to Battlefield games.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, you do. Because if not, you're not going to live very long. And probably like we've, they probably have different classes.
Look at the Zeppelin. Oh man, listen. Do yourself a favor and get this game. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
I know me and Todd will be playing.
Oh no, absolutely.
I don't know about
Chuck. Chuck will probably buy it and he'll use it for a coaster or something, but he'll know.
He may turn it on once probably in the morning when we're all working or something, and then he never will get on when we
Yeah,
Perhaps.
that's okay, Chuck.
Perhaps.
We
play
understand
with
about
some, who knows.
But anyway, with that being said, once again, we want to remind you, we talked about it a little bit on the social hour, a big run, Ashley and...
God, how do you say her name?
I can't...
Mari.
Well, Mari, but how do you say her real name?
I don't know.
Mari.
Sexy.
Some-
That's what I'll call her. They're going to have a run. They're going to do it themselves. It's for Jack Rollins. They're running from Masontown to Fairmont. It's 31 miles, and that's going to happen on October 8th. The only thing that they ask you, it's just there. It's not like an organized run. They're doing it together, and they're going to try to get people to, awareness in a lot of ways. But what they would like for you to do is go to Jack Rollins' page and just donate $5, $2, $10, $100.
whatever.
It don't matter what the hell it is.
It all good. And she said that, Ashley said that, all the money goes, there's no middleman. It goes directly to the family. There's no, how some of these organizations, we'll take 50% for advertising and then we'll
Right.
put 50.
Now,
Everything goes right to the family.
Now, if you don't know Jack Rollins, he's like a 5-year-old kid. He's coming down he's got some kind of crazy, very rare cancer and stuff. And it's just, when it comes to genetics and things like that, it just freaks me out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, I don't have to worry about that unless it's me. But when it comes to, like, if you have kids and things like that, you know what I mean? That's a whole different story. That's a whole different ballgame, a whole different emotion. Yeah. And it would be bad enough. But to have to, man, I can't imagine. What the hell is she doing there? Who is that?
Well, we were mentioning Game of Thrones there a while ago.
No, flip that picture up there. She's got hostile projectiles, boy.
No. Well, that's going to bring them all up now.
Yeah.
We were going to touch a little bit on Game of Thrones, and she's one of the actresses on Game of Thrones. I'm looking through the cast.
Isn't Game of Thrones, isn't that like basically a domain for cheap porn stars? Don't they do a lot of that? Isn't that the truth, though?
On
Don't
Game
they
of
have
Thrones,
a
there's a
lot
lot
of-
of
there's
a lot of sex. on Game of
Like I
Thrones.
said, I watched up till season 3, but anyway, there was quite a bit of
Yeah, there's a lot of
Sort of like watching
softcore.
Spartacus.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just like Spartacus.
Just like Spartacus. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's like, wow.
I haven't watched any of those, man.
Listen, Spartacus is good, but Game of Thrones, man, you can really
Bruce
get into
Jenner was going to be in it, and it was called Ben Him.
it. Ben Hill.
Yeah, he's been her now. Well, Ben Him.
Stop it, Chuck.
Anyway, once again, we want to thank you for listening. We're back in the studios. Finally, Studio A is complete. We have a new director. His name is Darren Hardman. We want to thank Darren for taking on the challenge of that. And it's only going to get better and better as time goes on. Jimmy and Todd, of course, are staples. And Dean was here earlier. He's part of the film crew. And that's the one I'm looking at. Go up there and hit fuel.
Whoa, it's as big as it gets.
No, to the right, view image. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It must be cold wherever she's taking the pictures.
Dun, 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 dun,
What
dun,
happens
dun,
here is that
dun.
Natalie Dormer.
Oh, is this the
There
one?
we go. She's got some hostile projectiles. There, booyah! Yeah,
Must
there
be
is.
chilly.
There's no sense in somebody wearing something like that. That's
She's
disgusting.
a famous movie star, brah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
What?
She's
Doesn't
on Game of
matter.
Thrones, brah.
What do you call him, Brock?
Brah.
Oh man, what's her name? I'm going to write that down.
Natalie Dormer.
Dormer.
Brah.
Okay.
Let me pull up another Game of Thrones.
Don't even worry about it. Anyway, go ahead and as always give us a voicemail. Give us a voicemail or a text at 681-222-ROGN at 681-222-7646. We really appreciate that. Go ahead and like us on the Facebook, on Twitter, on Google Plus, on YouTube. YouTube, we're going to be doing a lot of video stuff coming up this summer.
Ooh, I'm excited about doing some video
All
stuff.
kinds of crazy stuff, and so we want to. We're going to, in the next coming weeks, give you ways, give you tips on how to keep up in the easier method concerning your mobile device or your Google account. How to do that so you don't miss anything. But with that being said, once again, on behalf of Darren, on
you got to throw another name in here. You're going to get all confused.
I know. He's gonna be like,
And Darren, again, I don't know what to say now because I think my stress packer's leaking.
oh, dude, you better not have broke the penis.
man, I tell you what,
No, I don't. My hand
dude, if
felt.
you broke the penis,
I don't have a beer.
maybe it is.
No,
On
it's
behalf
not
of
wet.
Darren, on behalf of Jimmy, on behalf of Todd, and behalf of his stress pecker and all the cicadas in the world, all the billions and billions of them that I will totally miss. And I'm going to miss those things. I am going to miss those things when they're gone. I'm telling you. I love them.
Couple of more weeks. I've noticed that they're not as loud as they've used to.
Now,
be.
they were pretty loud today, but they're slacking off.
Yeah, they're slacking.
They're
off.
slacking off. But I'm going to miss those things when they're gone. 17 years from now, no, I won't see them for them.
62. I
We'll
think
be
we'll
in our
62.
60s.
Yeah.
I actually might have to go find a state where they are coming at the next 13 years or something and go just check them out.
You know what?
We need to do some
if
research
you have
on that.
nothing else better to do, then you
I
know
don't.
you do.
hey,
don't.
we still need to plan a road trip.
And a road trip. Hey, by the way,
Ghost hunts. We got ghost hunts coming up. Ghost
and
hunts,
down
ghost
to
hunts.
Green Bank, they have a thing now where the SETI is going to release all the stuff that they found out that might be or might not be extraterrestrial. You can go down there and check all that stuff out. And
Yeah,
I
we
would
need to get
really like to do that.
We need
Mr.
to get
Mitchell.
Mr. Mitchell on the Rogan Radio.
Mr. Mitchell has an open door down there. Mr. Mitchell was a science teacher we had at Lincoln High School. He has an open door down at Green Banks, which is close to Sugar Grove by the chance.
Ooh, that's another topic right there.
Randy was in here talking about that, and boy, it turned out to be pretty true, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. We had no idea.
No, absolutely.